So we are an organic dairy, and we have a contract with Clover Stornetta Farms, and so all of our fluid milk goes to them. And as far as making products here on the ranch, we're not making products today. We're still in development, and so we're utilizing some local creameries and relationships that we have to help us develop those, with the thought that we will build a creamery here on site, so that we can process our own cheese. And we're kind of in the middle of that process right now. But we certainly, understand that, if there's a requirement there to have X amount of tons of corn go into that renewable energy, then that's just going to decrease the supply. That there's only so much supply that's going to be given, and so if there's a percentage of that that's going to go out into as a mandate, then that's only going to make the price go up for us.
And have you been tracking how the renewable fuel standard is impacting other types of agriculture, like livestock and poultry and other food producing industries?
Yeah, not as poultry, but we also do raise beef cows here, and so we see that in the value of our cows when they're hitting the market. Certainly, the younger ones that livestock operations will come and they'll buy our younger bull calves and then take them off to raise them in the beef industry. And so the value of those animals has been really low for a long time, and that's really dictated by the price of corn because it's one of the major feed commodities that go into those operations. So if the price of that corn is high, then they're not going to be willing to pay the higher prices. So they're going to take less of them.
And if you had to summarize your feelings about the ethanol mandates and this renewable fuel standard, how would you capture that?
To have it as a mandate, I think is tough. I think there's got to be a compromise there, because it's got. I think if there's only so much supply, and you make a mandate there that says this percentage of the supply has to go out, then what happens to those other industries that are supplying, relying on that supply? And it could be from the pork industry to the chickens or beef or dairy. And that renewable energy, they may be able to, even though the price of it is higher, they may be able to charge that on to their end customer, where in the livestock arenas, we're pretty limited. So I think there's probably just some conversations that need to take place about, the price. If there's a mandated amount that needs to go somewhere, there should be a mandated retail price that goes along with it so that the farmers aren't suffering.
Mm-hmm. And so if you were to send a message to your elected officials in Washington, D.C., Senator Barbara Boxer, Senator Dianne Feinstein, what would you tell them about this issue?
I just open it up to a free market. Supply and demand, let that dictate what's going on. I look at some of the numbers, North America and South America, we've seen, the amount of corn that's going into, the ethanol mandate. I think it was from 2006 to 2009 in both continents. It doubled in that period of time. And then in 2010, 2011, South America, it started to tail off, started to come down. But in the U.S., it kept going up, and not as steep of a climb. But is that really should we be putting food into a renewable energy source, or should we be looking for other alternative measures? Because food is, there's planet is growing. There's more and more people, being born every day, and the emerging countries. The demand for dairy-based proteins, let alone just food, is on the rise. So I'm not sure we should be taking our food and putting it into energy.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We'll stop there.